I'll just jump. All these, I think, has been covered, so I won't go through it again. But in brief, let's look at this. APA has about 4 elements. When you get a piece of work and you want to use it for your work, APA says you should reference that work, you should cite. First, you should look for the name of the author, you look for the year, you look for the title, and you look for the source. So every item that you lay your hand on and you want to use it in your work, you are mandated to get all these 4 elements there. It being an online article or the manual or traditional way article. As said by the previous presenter, sometimes you may have an article. You want to use that article, but that article may lack certain elements. Can you go ahead and use it? You may have some without any of these elements. Can I still use such article for my work? Let's look at the first one. You are good to go. You have the article, and the article has all the 4 elements. The author is there, the date is there, the title is there, and the source is there. You don't have problem. You are good to go. You find, and you know, he has treated in-text and the in-text citation. That's a parenthesis and the narrative. So I'm not going to talk about it. This is an example of how to go about it. The parenthetical citation is always in parenthesis with author / the year. Then when it's narrative, which is part of the text, is the author and the year is captured in the parenthesis, in the bracket. Now let's look at, you have a document. The document has title, has date, has everything, but lacks the name of the author. What do? You can go ahead and use that document. However, you must provide the title, the date, and source. No author. You provide the title, date, and source. You have an article and there is no date. Can you still go ahead and use it? APA says yes, use it. However, indicate ND, which simply means no date. You have an article, it has all the elements, but there's no title. What do? You provide all the other elements, then now you describe the article in what? Square bracket. Please, are you here? You get, let's say, you get a document, and the document doesn't have any title, but you know there is something good in it for you. When you get to the title page, it says what? Describe the work in what? Parenthesis or in bracket, square bracket. The article has no author and has no date. What do? Provide a title and write ND for no date. There's an article you have. No author, no date. No author, no title. What do? Describe the work in square bracket and provide the date and what? Source. Date not there, title not there. Provide the author, write ND, describe the work in square brackets. If there is no title, always you must describe the work in square brackets. The article has no author, has no date, and has no title. What do? Describe the work in square brackets, write ND, and then provide the source. Now, here comes, you have an article. And the article has none of these 4 elements we have spoken about. No title, no date, no place of publication. What do? Fine, you'll be asked to, let's say, find a new article and use. However, if it is so important and really helps your work, we call it a source. You now provide it as personal communication. Please here. Personal communication. So you went for lectures. The lecturer was presenting or was teaching. He did mention something to you. He mentioned something, but you cannot go to the original source to find it. However, you want to quote it in your work. You can still quote it. Write the name of the one who made that statement. Then, as it's indicated there, you write E. Tamaklu, personal communication. Then the date that that statement was made, October 2024. It can be an email somebody sent to you. an email that you received. However, you can't go to the source and you want to quote that particular email. Make it your personal word, communication. It can be a chat, a message you had with someone, and you think it's very important and you want to feature it in your work. You can make it what? Personal communication. So text message, telephone conversations, live speeches, unrecorded classroom lectures, memos, letters, bulletin boards, etc. You can't let that information go because you think that this information will help my work. This is the way you are supposed to reference it. Personal communication. Let's move straight. Now let's look at these ones and let's move. When you have one author and you want to cite it in parenthesis citation, you say ASWA, 2020. Narrative will be what? ASWA 2020. Two authors, ASWA and Ishel. Let's know that in APA citation, when you are citing in the narrative, two authors in the narrative, you use the conjunction, is it conjunction coordinator and, but in the parentheses, use the ampersand for it. Now, APA 7th edition says that when you have a document and the authors are more than two, make it a tar. So in the narrative citation, you can write Tamaklo, Mesa, Amuzu, then you know. The moment they are more than two, at first they were three, you must cite the first three. Now they say that if they are more than two, just cite the first author and make the rest a tar. Sometimes students will use Tamaklo and etal. No. Etal means and others. So Tamaklo, etal, if they are more than two authors. However, if there are two authors, bring the names of the authors in the in-text citation. When we have group author, first you give the full names of the group, subsequent ones you abbreviate. Now let's go to how to cite theses, unpublished theses. You're using a lot of theses for your assignment, and you move to the library and you get a lot of theses, but they've not published those theses. How do you cite? You are maintaining all the four elements, and the four elements, as I said, are one, the author, the type, the year, the title, and the source, where you got that piece of information from. In addition to that, let's say Tamaklo published his thesis in 2018, so Tamaklo E 2018. Then the XX is telling us the word. Oh, I think we are doing the first one. You square brackets. You write unpublished doctoral thesis or unpublished MPhil thesis in this square bracket. Please, are you able to go? So you are maintaining all the four elements, but immediately after the title, describe the work in what? Square brackets and write unpublished doctoral thesis or unpublished what? Master's thesis. If you go to the article from a database like ProQuest, Oxford, anything, you write the same thing, but you must write a publication number. Every thesis or every article published in a database should have a number. So immediately after the title, you write a publication number. Then you write the name of where that student graduated. Doctoral, dissertation, University of Education. Then you write in square brackets. Then you write the name of that journal. Please, are you going to go? Now we have theses published online, not in a database. Let's say free access. You had it online. Tamaklo E 2012, the title, then in square bracket, you write the name of where the thesis was published. Then the website you retrieve that information from. You have a manuscript. A lecturer has told you that I am working on a particular project. I want to publish it. I've sent it to a publisher, or I have not sent it to a publisher at all. But I think you citing this in your work will go a long way. Can you cite it? APA says yes, you can. In this case, the moment he gives that article to you, just after the title of the article, in square bracket you write unpublished manuscript. Please are you here? The name of the one who wrote it and write unpublished manuscript. If the manuscript is in preparation, he hasn't finished preparing it, he's still in that process, you write what? Manuscript in preparation. If the manuscript is submitted for publication, maybe the author has had the green light from the publishing house that we've accepted your article and we'll publish it, but it's not published yet. You write manuscript submitted for what? Publication. Let's look at how to citing conference sessions, paper presentation. There is a conference or there is a paper you want to cite. I've given an example here. The one who presented it, Akpanglo Nathe E. Probably she presented it just a day, but APA says that you must still give the full date that the presentation was done. If it's a conference, if it was 2 days, let's say from 6 to 8, you bring the full 6 to 8, not 6, because you presented on 6, you have to present 6, the range. And this one, you bring the full day, 6 August 2020, in bracket, semantics versus stylistics. Then in square bracket, you describe what happened, the document, that's a conference session. Then where was it held? Or which group or body organized that program? Foreign Language National Conference, Accra, Ghana. Then you provide a source. Where did you get that piece of item? Now let's look at citing edited works. You saw a book and the book was edited by an author. It's not the original author. Let's look at authored book with editor credited on the book cover. You see that the editor, edited by, APA says that you must maintain the same elements. The name of the first author. The first author, let's say, yes, Amuzu writes it, that's a primary source. Then someone wrote on it or edited the book, now it becomes a secondary source. Immediately after the title, information systems, now you write the name of the editor. This time around, you reverse. Please, you abbreviate the first name rather. Instead of you bring the abbreviated name first, then you bring the word, the surname, then you write ED dot representing editor. He edited that work. That's for edited works. Let's look at citing in another language. You are reading French. You got a book in French and you are citing. You want other audience to see. You maintain the same author immediately after the title. So the title should be in that original foreign language. If it's in French, maintain French. If it's in German, maintain German. Then immediately after the title, you now translate it into English. So let's say puberty right. I don't know how, so puberty right in French here, then in English, I don't know how you say it. Puberty right, rather the English one will be here, then the title will be in the original language. Then you provide the source. Let's look at citing social media handles. You went on Twitter and you saw something and you want to cite. One, which institution or which person is making this, posted this? University of Education, that's UEW. Then in bracket, you write the Twitter handle at UEW, the name they use, that you bring it in that. Then you write the full name, title, then after title, you write what? Tweet, it's a tweet. Then Twitter, then you bring the source, HTTP as it is. Let's look at social media, that is Facebook. You maintain the same element, then you write the title. If there is an image attached to that post, you say image attached. If there is a video attached, as you are describing that particular work you got, you tell us what it is. Then immediately after description, you bring status what? Update. Someone's status what? Update. And we are good to go. Then which handle is it? Which social media handle is what? Facebook. Then you bring the source, the HTTP and whatever it is. You've seen a dictionary and you want to cite the dictionary. What do? In fact, in APA 7th edition, retrieve from and all those things, they've cancelled it. You don't more use it. However, when you find a material and the material keeps updating, you know that no, this one will not be there. You don't introduce the date. Please, are you good to go? You don't introduce the date. If you have a source that is always updating its website, it means that when you go there, you may not find that exact what information. So that one, use ND, no date for it. Even when you see a date there, you should still provide no date for websites that continually updates its source. But if it is something that is permanent there, then you add retrieved 14 May 2023 or any other date to retrieve that thing. You've seen a religious Bible and you want to cite a Bible. Same element, the name, the year, then the title of the Bible, the source. Then now you bring the original work published. When was the original work published? Most of these works have gone through a lot of review and commentaries here and there. Now you bring the original. How do you cite a newspaper? The same element, but you must provide the full date, 4 December 2023. Cultural semantics, the daily graphics, as simple as ABC. If it is online, you provide the URL there to let them go. Now, you have seen a video or you have seen a film, you have watched it, and you want to cite it in your work. We say it's the same thing, author. However, if it's a film, there should be a director. There should be executive producer. So the role of the person who directed that movie, you just put it, the role should be in this the brackets, then the year. Then write the title, then describe the work in square bracket. Film song, maybe educating material on DVD. How you got the material, you describe it in square bracket. If it's painting, you let us know. If it's TV series, you let us know. So example, Hammond C, sorry I forgot the year. Director, executive, producer, instructor, writer, composer, artist, for all songs. All these things will help you do. You have a press release. A press release, and you want to cite a press release. Same elements as the name, the author. However, after the title, you say writer. The title should be in italics for press release. The title should be in italics. And we say you should write press release after the title in square brackets. It's the same for radio interview, recorded speech, and all that. Let's look at, sometimes people don't know that you can cite lecture notes, your lectures, PowerPoint, all these things, if you can cite them. So you have your lecture notes, and you want to cite the notes that your lecturer gave to you. Same element, Hansen Ruby. You tell us the full day, 10th May 2024. Then describe lecture notes on what? Language or whatever it is. Then bring the department, then the institution. Then we are looking for slides. The same thing. You write the author's name, the full year, then you write the title, which should be in italics. Then you write PowerPoint slides, name of department, then the institution. Let's look at general articles. General is the same element. You write the name of the author, which is Money 2023, the title. You move on with the, as we said, the title should be in italics. A journal of what? History. 40 issues 47, volume 4, the pages 414 to what 456. With APA citation, when you finish every element, you need to introduce a period. Like when you write the name of the author, make sure you have ended that statement with a dot. But when you are writing, you get to the source, and it's a DOI, or a URL, please don't provide a period there because it will interfere with the link. Please, are we good to go? I think citing multiple works, I think the previous presenters worked on it, so I'll move on. Then citing specific sources. Citing specific sources. If they are in chapters, you introduce a chapter. If it is a page, it is P dot. If it's a page, then you just bring P. If there are multiple pages, it should be PP. So PP dot 3 to 17. If it's a table, indicate the table. If it is a paragraph, the PAR, then you bring just a paragraph. If there are more than one paragraph, it becomes para. So PARS. If it's volume, as we know, VOL. If it's in volumes, VOLS. If it's in addition, it goes in that order. Now let's look at reference list format, which I think I will just end here because you have done a lot. Please, I will let any questions so far on this one before I leave. Are
you done?
Yes, he will work on the software.
I think you finish and then we
Okay, a very quick one. We'll look at how to use online referencing tool to cite your work. So I'll dwell with Mendeley referencing tool and how to use Mendeley referencing tool to cite your reference work.
Second part of this presentation is more practical than theoretical. So let's finish with the first presenter. If you have any questions for him, let's hear them quickly, then we proceed to the other part. Any question? You are all satisfied? No. Yeah, Mr. Gaji.
My question is, thank you for giving me the opportunity. My question is, inside citation and then referencing.
Yes.
You make mention of the surname, then comma, then the
year.
The Christian. You need 4 things for inside citation.
No, so you need 4 things.
Yeah.
No, I said basically APS citation goes with 4 elements. That's the author, the year, the title, and the source. The difference between the in-text citation and the references is that the in-text only takes the year, the name, and the year.
Okay, the name, please. The surname only.
Yeah, the surname only.
Okay, that's my question.
Yeah, the surname only.
The second I want to seek clarification is, we call it lieu d'éducation et maison d'éducation. For instance, the publication is done in Winneba edition. Winneba public center here.
Okay.
The Winneba.
Like city.
Okay. Please let me quickly get some. The 6th edition of the APA allowed you to add the place of publication. The 7th says that no, don't add place of publication. The 6th, after writing your link, URL or DOI, he says you should add retrieve from. He says don't write retrieve from, just write the DOI there as a test.
So we are going with the 7th.
The 7th edition. We are not using 6th edition. 2, the 6th edition requires that when you are in the in-text citation, as I said earlier, if there are more than 3 authors, provide the name of the first 3 authors, then proceed. The 7th says that no. If there are more than 2 authors, more than 3 authors, just provide 2. Provide the name of the 2 authors. Then the rest bring it at the reference list. So if there are more than 3, provide the 2. The rest should go to the reference list.
The first 2.
The first 2. The first 2. Then at the reference end, at first it will let you cite up to 7. But APA says that if the authors are more than 21, cite the first 20 at the reference list. Yes, cite the first
note of that.
Yes, cite the first the first 20 and the rest, so that if it's 20, Amozu, you mention the name, then the 20 after 20th, now you bring the etat.
That
Yes.
is one in the reference.
In the reference column. Then you bring the etat. Yes, and they have, I think they've done certain things with the font size. As far as more Roman numerals, yeah, they've added Arial, I think calligraphy and others to it. So these are some, and I think we should visit the library. These things are there for you. There are a lot of tools there for you to guide you in doing these references. A lot of tools there. Yes, madam.
Thank you very much, Eric, for the presentation. My question has to do with the page number. For instance, I visited a particular material which does not have page numbers. For instance, a lecture note that a lecturer has presented or has provided to us. And it doesn't have page numbers, but I found out that information within that material are so relevant to my study. What do I do? And maybe when I cited it, either my supervisor or any assessor is requesting for page number for that particular information.
APA says that when you are providing those paragraphs, it's for specific sources. I get it. You want them to list exactly where you picked that information. So if it's a freelance text, a free text, normally it's not compulsory to provide the page numbers or the paragraphs. Please, I hope you get it. Until it is really specific. You are citing Quran, you are citing a policy, you are citing religious words or Shakespeare's word here and there, where we need to go and verify from there. Then you are required to put all those things there. But if it's not there, it's just a normal literature you are writing. It's not so specific that you must provide the page number you got the item from. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I know the purpose of citation and referencing is to acknowledge, first of all, the source of the information, and then to enable the reader make reference when necessary, if I am right. And APA allows us to cite a whole lot of things. It's like, basically, there's no limit. For example, you made mention of email.
Yes.
You could cite an email. And it's a private information. So if you cite it, how will the reader be able to access it?
Personal communications don't find themselves at the references list.
Okay.
They are to help the work. Maybe your grandmom told you some nice unanswered story, and in your write-up, you want to use it to support the work. You cannot lay hand on that thing, or you cannot go to your grandmom and say she's an authority in that field. But when you add it to your work, you know that it will back your work. APA said that one becomes personal communication. So in your in-text citation, you indicate, if it's your grandma who made it, Adwa Kweba 20, you mention the date and write personal communication. Meaning, if anyone picks that document and wants to do any serious scientific work, they will not use it, that one to do it. Please, I do. And APA is not only about the references, it's to set the standards, to make your work very standard, so that wherever you go, you know that you have done the right thing and ensure that you are meeting some. And two, if you don't do your references well, it will affect your authority, your plagiarism check. If you don't do it well, it's going to shoot it up. Question.
Like, yeah, a small follow-up.
Okay.
I'm trying to see that it's giving us room to lie. In the sense that I will just say something and...
No, the research, it's your own research.
Yes.
And we believe that as you are conducting the research, you'll be as objective as possible and not veered off or something. So they give you the room to. And of course, thank you.
If you lie, you may pay for it elsewhere.
Well, I think it is the more reason why we should have a homegrown referencing system.
You don't have yet, so we still have to depend on them for now.
Thank you for the opportunity. Please, I have a question to ask. I took some information from a textbook that is used as a manual for secondary schools. Unfortunately, the book doesn't have an author, but it has an editor and then a year of publication. So for a book like that, how do you reference it?
I said it. It's such a book. You just use the title. You can still, yes, use the title. Thank you.
Okay. We proceed to the second part of the presentation. Get ready. Let's be done with. Yeah.
Okay, so we go to the second stage. If you have a laptop here and you have internet connectivity, you can bring it out and then go through as it takes us on. Okay? Oh, you didn't hear me. Sorry. If you came here with a laptop and you have access to internet, you could use it along as it takes us through.
It is very important.
You could just observe and later try and apply. If you're not able to, you can see me and I'll charge you to help you out.
Most often than not, when you observe, you forget. And when you do it, it's there for you.
Phone can't use it. You can't do it with phone, so.
All right, thank you. So please, let's do a little practicals on what we've done so far. So we have several types of referencing tool. We have Mendeley, we have Zotero, we have EndNote, we have RefWorks, and others. But I'm going to dwell on Mendeley. And I'm sure most of us know how to use Mendeley, and I've used Mendeley before. Okay. So Mendeley is a referencing tool that makes a task of referencing a lot more easier and more accurate. It also ensures that your in-text citation and your bibliography are well organized. And it also provides useful functionalities that makes your referencing a lot more easier. Okay, so how do you begin Mendeley? I'm sorry, most of us don't have laptop, so we have to watch what I'm doing now. Later, you go home and practice. Okay, so I'll switch from here to my browser. So how do we begin Mendeley? Okay, so begin with Mendeley. You need to go to mendeley.com where you create an account with Mendeley. So you type in your mendeley.com here. Say again. Mendeley. So this is the home page of Mendeley. So we have create a free account. When you click on the free account here,
you type in your active email. So from here, it takes me to Elsevier login page where you type in your email address. Okay, so you type in your email address here. Then from here, it takes you to a little detail where you add to your email address and a password. Okay, so let me type in my email address. So from here, you add your password. Then you sign in. Okay. I already have an account, so I don't want to create an account. I just want you to follow what I'm doing. So from here, you log in and it takes you to your library. So after creating an account with Mendeley, you end up creating a library for yourself. Okay. So please let me log in here again. So back to my library. This is my library. So this interface you are seeing is the Mendeley search engine. So at your left corner here, you see search and library, a new profile. Okay. So when you click on library, it takes you to your library. Please, can you see from see from my screen here? Okay. Okay, so this is my library. Okay. So how do we add references to our library after creating an account with Mendeley? So we have several ways to add references to our library. So for instance, if you have downloaded PDF files you want to reference from and it's saved on your device or your laptop, you first of all use add new button here to add those references to your library. So when you click on the add, it gives you the access to import files from your computer. Okay, so you click on import files from your computer, it takes you to your device where you can import those PDFs that you have saved for your work. Then you can upload them from here to your library. Then there's another way to add up. Let me go back to my Mendeley search engine. To make Mendeley more useful to your device, please you need to download these tools or plugins. So beneath the download, we have referencing manager. That's a web-based, then the desktop-based. So when you download this software, it's going to give you the access to sync all your library to your desktop. Okay. Then we have web importer. This web importer here is a plugin that is installed in your browser. So you can also import references from your web importer to your library. And then again, we have citation plugin. This plugin here connects your library to your Microsoft Word, where you can cite and reference your work. Please, is that okay? Okay, so let me move on. So the next step is to install the web importer. Okay. So this is a plugin.
excuse me, if you can start from import from computer.
Okay. All right. So back to my library again. The internet is very slow, so I have a modem I would like to use. So please give me a minute. Let me take my modem.
Okay, sir. Then you'll be faster than us. It's open. That's what I want to put. Where do you want to go? Where do you
Okay, so back to my library again. How do we import references to our library? So the first step is to add new. So when you click on this new button here, it takes you to your device where you can import those PDFs that you have downloaded on your device to your library. So you use this option to do that. When you click on it, you click on import files or folders from your computer. Then again, we use the web importer to add references to our library. So let's say you are using any search engine or Google to download PDF files for your work. Okay, so let me go to a new tab here. Go to Google. And I type in any search keyword here. So this is my keyword, and I click on search. So for instance, this is my search engine here. So anytime I search for any keyword in my database or browser, this is my web importer here, will import those books, web pages, documents into the web importer. So when I click on the web importer here, it will import this data from the search engine, the results from the search engine here.
Install the web importer.
Say
You install it.
yes.
Then you have to install the web importer.
Okay, then let me go back. Okay, that's another option to do that. Okay. Okay. All right, so this is the first option, import.
Excuse me, Mendeley web importer.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so I click on import files from my computer. It takes me to my computer here, and then I upload any file that I want to bring to my library. So for instance, I use this PDF file and I click on open. It will download up and add up to my library. All right, so this is it. That's the first reference here I have added to my library using the add new button. Okay. And then another option to add reference to your library is to use a web importer. Okay. So after installing the add-on web importer, it gives you an icon up here. I don't know whether you can see. So this is a web importer here. Okay. So any search you do in your database or you use Google to search, this web importer will import them here. So we have, from the search I did here, I have journal article here, then I have a web page. So I will use a web page here because the web page doesn't mean anything to me. It's not relevant to what I want. So I will use this first search here to add to my library. So when you click on it, you go through and see if it has all the relevant data you want. That's a bib for that reference to. Okay, so I have the author's name, I have the publication, I have the date of publication here. Then I can add it to my library. So when you click on add here, it takes it to your reference library. Okay. So it has been added to your library. So let's go back to your library and find out if it's there.
Oh, no, oh, no, that is right. Now, I'm now installing, I want to install the web importer.
It's still adding to my library. Just that the internet is very slow. Please say again. Okay, so it has been added to my library now. All right, so that's the second option. Then the third option to add reference to your library is to use the Mendeley search engine. Okay, so back to your Mendeley homepage. So this is a Mendeley search engine. So this search engine also gives you relevant articles to add to your library. Okay, so you can put in any search key here. Okay, it gives me a lot of results to add to my library, but you need to look for the relevant ones that you want. Okay, so AI in library services. So as you can see, citations 18, readers 137. So you can go through and look for the most relevant one, then add to your library. Then again, when you click on any of these, it gives you a detail of the reference work that you want to add. Then again, you can also look for related articles that you can add up to what you have here. So you can click on related here, then it will give you all the related articles that can support your work. Okay, so you can also add all of these to your library. So when you click on add, let me use the first one. When you click on add to library, it adds this reference to your library. Please, is that okay? All right. So let's check from our library if it's there. Use of artificial intelligence in the library services. Okay, back to our library again. Okay, so that is it. So when you click on it, it gives you the bib of the whole reference that you want. All right. So after adding these references to your library, how then do you manage it? So let's look at how to manage your library. So we have collection here. This collection here gives you a freedom to create folders to add your research titles to these collections. So for instance, if you are working with a topic like AI in library services, you can come up here to your collection and add new collection, then create that folder. So this collection is all about folders that you create to manage your library. So I add AI in library. Then I press enter. It gives me that collection folder. So my AI library is empty. So back to all my references. So any related reference here, that is my AI library. I can click and drop it to my AI folder that I've created under collections. Okay, so I have dropped the first one, drop the second one. So this helps you to arrange those references for a specific project or assignment that you are working on. Okay, so under these collections, we have groups. These groups here helps you to share your library with, for instance, if you are working with a team, you can share your library with them, or a group. You can create these groups here and share with them so that they can have access to this reference that you are using for your work, so that they can also use it for their work. Okay, so you can also create a folder up here. All right, so when you press enter, it creates that folder here for you under groups. Then you can lift those articles or references to that group that you have created. So when you click on the options beside it, you can click on manage group. Then from here, you add those group or the team members that you want to let them have access to these resources. Okay. Yes, their emails. Their emails. The internet is.
Where is managed group?
So beside AI in library, we have the options here. So you click on manage group.
Where is managed group? Ah. The group, okay. This one. Okay.
Okay. My network is not helping at all. Okay, so I am inside Manage Group. So you click on Invite Members here. You have the option to invite up to 25 members to your library. So you can add them from here, invite a member, and then you key in the email address, then you send invite to the person. Any active email address the person is having, you can share with the person. Please, is that okay? All right. Then again, you have the option to read from your library. So when you click on any of these references that you've added to your library, you can read inside the library. So let me click on any of these. It gives me the option to read the PDF in my library here. And the internet is very slow. Please forgive me.
Do we have a long way to go again?
Say
We have a
again.
long way to go again. Are you almost done?
Yeah, almost done. Yes. Okay. So you can read your PDF inside your library. You can also add annotations. You can add notes to your library. Let's say you are reading your PDF file here. You want to add your thought or note. You can add up under this note button here. You can add annotations or tags to this particular article that you are reading. Okay. So when you are done with all this, back to your library. Let me close this one. Back to your library. So when you have a tall list populated in your library, you can use this search button here to search for your reference in your work, in your library. Okay, so when you click on this search, you can type in the author or the title of that reference, then it will pop up, singled up here for you. Okay. And then you can also add your own publications to your library. So this is a folder here that you can add your own publications. Okay. So when you are done with all these steps, now how do you cite these references here in your project or your assignment? Okay. So from here, let's go to our Microsoft Word. Okay, so let's take for instance, you have this short assignment that you want to cite and add a bibliography from Mendeley Library to this work. Okay, so the third option that I spoke about, that's the citation plugin. When you install this plugin, it will link your library to your Microsoft Word. So when you go to References app here in your Microsoft Word, you will see Mendeley site here. So when you click on it, it will then sync your library from mendeley.com to your Microsoft Word for you, where you can cite and reference in your work. Okay. So first time doing that, you'll be required to sign in the account you created with Mendeley here. Then it will then sync your library to your Microsoft Word. Okay, so it's now loaded in my library up here for me. Okay, so all the references I have in my library is now synced to my Microsoft Word. Okay, so this is the recent one I added, artificial intelligence, something like a university library services. Okay, so I want to cite this particular reference in my work. So how do I do that? So when you click on this option up here, when you tick, then you come back to your work and you indicate where you want to cite the in-text. Then you click on insert one citation. When you click on it, it will then populate the insert citation in your work for you. So that is it here. You can also edit it by selecting it, then back to your citation up here. Or you can manually edit it with your keyboard. Okay. All right. So you can add as many as you want. You can merge insert citations. So I have two citations here that I want to merge. So when you insert as many as you want and you highlight, you have the option to merge them together. Okay. So I want to add as many as I want so that you can now add our bibliography. Okay, I've added so many in-text citations in my work. So now how do I add my bibliography? So your bibliography is the same as your references. Okay, so under my references, I click and I activate the cursor here. Then I go to my options beside my Mendeley plugin here. Then I click on insert citation. Okay, so all the in-text citation that I've added is now going to give me the full reference of what I have added in my work. So when I click on insert bibliography, it will then populate all my references down here for me. So that is it. It's arranged in alphabetical order. There's no need to cut and paste or edit anything. You can format it nicely and leave it as it is. So depending on the number of in-text citation you add in your work, it will give you the exact bibliography in your work. Okay, so I think that is it for Mendeley in-text citation. All right, thank you. Any question?
That's a practical session. I believe competence will be enhanced when we practice. Okay, and the lab is always available for us to. We can come to you when we need assistance, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm MC, I want to ask one question. Not a question anyway. It means this is applicable to just soft copy documents. Or if I scan a hard copy and I save it in PDF, would that also would it work?
Yes, it will work. If you save it in PDF and send it to your library, it will read for the DOI, digital object identifier. If it's able to identify this object,
This is a hard copy I have scanned myself. So will it have the DOI?
it wouldn't have the DOI.
So it will be able to.
So it will not be able, but it will give you the in-text, but the full reference, you wouldn't have it. It will give you a different reference to that work. You didn't have the full bibliography. Okay.
Thank you. Shall we appreciate you? Pro Chair, ladies and gentlemen, we are brought here by someone, right? So let's hear from the head of department.
Thank you very much, MC. I believe you have all enjoyed this seminar. If you have enjoyed it, show appreciation. It's not been easy. I know students have sat down for almost the whole day. And lecturers are also here. We have all learned a lot. And we have added a lot to our stock of knowledge. Let's clap for ourselves. And I believe this is not going to be the end of it. I would rather say that it is the beginning of our quest to enhance research in our department. So today, as we all sat here, we look at few things that are so dear to us, most especially as far as our research is concerned. First, we look at the thesis or topic selections and expectations of the student researcher. And we went ahead to look at the research problem statements. And this time, when we are stating our research problem, I think we're going to do a better work. And we went ahead to look at the research design and methodology, a problem for most of the researchers, especially our students. And I believe what we have gone through today will help us next time when we get to the methodology, we know what to do. And we also look at the essential components of a good research proposal. The first year MPhil students and even the PhD students, I believe when you are presenting your proposal, you know what you must put into that proposal. And then we also went ahead to look at the referencing a research work. And we just learned the use of software in referencing a research work. In fact, we have learned a lot. Once again, let's clap for ourselves. But then one thing that I want to say is that since we have some of the students have already started their work, some of them are even about to present, to submit their work. Some of the things that you have learned here, if you feel that they are not in your work, why not just take your time, go back, look at it again, and see how you can adjust few things, at least a week or two, then before you do your final presentation. I think that will help all of us. Especially, one of them just approached me and looking at it, the quantitative and the qualitative, blah, blah, blah. So I said, you should have asked the question. The door was open for all of us to ask questions. You should have asked the question. So, in effect, I'm expecting him to go back, look at the work again, just look at the methodology, and then make the necessary amendment before you do the final presentation. Those of you who are already in the middle of your work, take a second look at it, because the very person who normally comes during the Viva was the one who came to present this one to us. So when you do it, you come and present, and on that day of Viva, you are presenting the same thing that you used to do. I think there will be a problem. So we want to appreciate all of us, including me, as I'm standing here. I appreciate myself. Appreciate all of us for making the time to come, and subsequently, if there is anything of this sort, let's encourage our colleagues to also be present. Thank you very much, and I wish you safe journey back. Thank you.
So well done to all of us. But I think some officials put in a bit more effort to make today's program a success. So on behalf of the department and on my own behalf, I would say thank you to HOD, thank you to our graduate coordinator, thank you to all the lecturers of the department for all the efforts put in to make yesterday and today's program a success. We are grateful to all our presenters, though they are not here now. We appreciate them so much. And then our library, the team from the library, we gave them a very short notice, but they were able to make it. We are so much grateful. Our media team, we appreciate you so much, especially for making the program to be carried live on YouTube. We are so much grateful for all the team who supported getting the venue ready. When we came in the morning, there was no key. Someone had to go and get a key. If we didn't get it, there would have been a problem. So we are grateful to you all. Administrative staff, service personnel, we are so much grateful. And for you coming from far and near, as students, as workers, as family members, people of family, for your time, we appreciate you. If you didn't come, it wouldn't have been a success. We pray for a safe journey back wherever you are going. And then, as students, we hope that our work will be better. And as researchers, as teachers, we also hope we are able to do better. On this note, thank you to all of you. And then we take our closing prayer from one of the students and from staff students. Any volunteer just to give us a closing prayer, then we go on. There was a pastor earlier. Is he still here? Yes, let's go. Oh, you prayed there. But pastors, they always like to pray. So. There's another pastor there. Oh, good. So that's a PhD prayer. So,